Hello everyone, my name is Aaron Anderson and I am going to do a quick Photoshop tutorial on how to make a really simple wallpaper just using some basic filters. Um, well, let's get started. What you do is you'll just open up Photoshop and make a new document. You'll want to base this on the resolution of the screen that you're using. Typically, it's going to be a 1080p screen, 1920 by 1080p. In my case, I'm using a 2K monitor, so what I want to do is switch it to pixels, and I need to make mine 2560 by 1440. And the resolution, since you're not using it for print and it's only for screen display, set the resolution to 72 and the color mode to RGB, and then just click on OK. And there you go, you get a nice, pretty blank slate. All right, the first thing you want to do now that you've got your new document open is you want to pick your two colors that are going to pretty much be the dominant color in your background for your wallpaper. For mine, I'm going to pick black and like this off red color. They've already got them set here in Photoshop, so I don't need to change anything. But if you were to do that, then you could just pick whatever colors you wanted. First thing you'll want to do is go to Filter, and then Render, and then Clouds. And you'll get this kind of ugly cloud pattern on your canvas. Next, what you'll want to do is you'll want to kind of add some texture to it because that doesn't make a very good wallpaper as it is. So you're going to go to Filter, Pixelate, Crystallize, and then you get this kind of weird preview here. You can't really see it unless you zoom out, but you don't want to make them too big or too small, so you can either kind of go in the middle. I'm going to make mine about a quarter of the way in. I'll set my cell size to 89 and then click on OK, and then it'll kind of give you this weird looking pattern here. All right, after you've applied the crystallize filter, you've got this kind of a noisy background, and what you want to do is you kind of want to focus it so that it's not so harsh on the eyes. And there's two ways you can go about doing this. You can use the gradient tool for both methods. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the gradient tool is set to the transparent, the foreground to transparent setting, and then I've got my black color to transparent. And make sure this little checkbox for reverse is not checked. So what you want to do is you want to drag from each of the corners of the canvas uh, inward towards the middle, and that way you kind of get this little faded, this gradient dark, so that it's darker on the edges, but the middle of the screen will still retain the color. You'll kind of want to do that on all those edges, just to give you this sort of like a tunnel vision effect. You can also do it a quicker way by, well, first we'll undo those, and then you can change this to the radial gradient color right here. You'll still want to use the same foreground to transparent gradient setting, and then you'll want to click on reverse. Definitely have to use reverse, otherwise it will do this big black gradient circle in the middle of your screen, and you don't really want that. So you will start from the middle, and then you'll drag out to the edge, and there it kind of gives you that radial gradient effect in one click as opposed to four. All right, next we need to put something on the foreground to make this a decent looking wallpaper. It looks pretty plain as it is. What I would suggest is just throwing some kind of a logo in the middle of it. If you've got like a company logo or some kind of personal logo, then you can use that. But what I'll do is what I would do is just open up the browser and you can just Google something. For example, the Google logo, nice and simple. And for simplicity's sake, we'll just use that. So I've already downloaded this one. What we'll do is we'll just drag it from wherever you saved it and just drop it right there in the middle of your document. And you'll hit enter, and there you go. So now we kind of want it to blend with the background in some way. Since it's kind of a noisy background, what you'll probably want to do is just turn that logo white. First thing you'll want to do after dropping it into the document is right-click on the layer over here and go to Rasterize Layer. And then you'll want to hold Control and then click on that little thumbnail so that you can select all of that logo. And for some reason, I can't just do like Shift F5 to fill it. So you'll just simply use the paint bucket and dump white paint in all those letters right there. And now we got a nice clean white logo. All right, well, now that you've got your nice clean white logo, one thing I always recommend doing, which I should have done earlier, is renaming that layer to logo or something so that at least when you're going back through this and you want to make changes to it, you'll know what layer it is. Now that you've got this logo, next thing you kind of want to do for it to blend into the background is just change the blending options. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of playing around with. It kind of depends on the background and the image that you've got. But since we've got a white logo, it makes it pretty simple. And you can just kind of scroll down the wheel and see which one you feel looks best. For me, I like the look of the soft light on this particular background. So we can just use the soft light there, and you can move the logo up so it's not on like the darker parts of that. It doesn't have to be centered. It's just, like I said, all a matter of personal preference. And you could add some effects, drop shadow, bevel emboss, stroke, whatever. I like simplicity, so I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I guess you're pretty much done with the wallpaper unless you see that there's other kinds of effects that you want to try out on it. And then, of course, you'll just want to file, save as, and then name it whatever you want. And then you can apply it to your wallpaper depending on what kind of computer you use. Right-click on it on a Windows computer and set it as your wallpaper, and there you go. I guess that's the end of this tutorial. I hope you've learned something, and I hope I haven't bored you to sleep. We'll see you next time. Bye.